Before we begin, I have a couple spots available for one-on-one coaching, so book a consult through my website, faithfullygrowing.com, if you're interested in doing some deeper work together. And if you've been enjoying the podcast, would you consider leaving a review? It really helps others find this space and join us on their own journey of healing and self-discovery. Thanks so much. Welcome back to IFS Meditations and Insights. I'm Tim Fortescue, your guide on this journey toward wholeness through the lens of internal family systems. Together, we're creating a sacred space to explore, accept, and love all parts of ourselves. As we do this work, we open ourselves to experiencing divine love and living more authentically. Let's begin. Today we're diving into a theme that has been so transformative and important for me, but sometimes I forget. And it's exploring creativity by connecting with our creative parts. Creativity isn't just about making art or writing novels, although it can very well be that. It's the spirit of possibility. It's the energy that moves through us when we're free, playful, and alive. I want to share a little story from my own life. I was probably 7, maybe even younger, and I remember in our backyard there was a clothesline, and often my mom would hang sheets there. And I loved Sesame Street. It was formative in my life, and with not having a whole lot of help at home was even more helpful, and I valued it more now, specifically looking back. But I would get out in those sheets, and that would be my stage. And once in a while, too, there would be Sesame Street Live that would come to town. And the characters would actually be in costumes, and you would meet Big Bird, and Bert and Ernie, and the Count. And I would go out in those sheets, and that would be my place and my stage for Sesame Street Live. And looking back, I see so clearly now that was my creative part, or my creative parts in full bloom. There was no editor in my head worrying about whether it was good enough. No inner critic telling me it had to matter or mean something to the world. It just was. As I've gotten older, parts of me have tried to be more serious or practical. And they've been told that by the world too. And sometimes these parts that are trying to protect these free creative parts make it harder for that playful creator to step forward. Maybe you can relate. Maybe you, too, have creative parts that need a little permission to come out and play again. So today I want to invite you to slow down and get curious. Which parts of you feel most creative? How can you nurture and engage these parts? What activities help you access your creativity? I encourage you to take those questions and maybe spend some time reflecting a little longer sometime this week. We can do just a little guided check-in together now. If you're able, close your eyes. If not, just listen or let your attention soften. And take a deep breath in and out. And bring to mind a part of you that loves to create, or if you prefer, you can phrase it this way: imagine a part of you that loves to create. No pressure, no agenda. Just notice what shows up. What do they look like? How old are they? Are they carrying any burdens? Take a brief moment to greet them, knowing that you can come back to them this week. Let them know you're here, you're willing to listen. And if you have a little bit of curiosity, let them know that you're curious. And sometime later today or this week, ask them, what do you want me to know? What do you need from me today? Just spend some time contracting with a time that you can come back and be with these parts. And let them know that whatever comes up, you're just going to hold it with kindness and don't make any promises you can't keep. But if you can say that, say it to them. And there's no right or wrong way to do this. Trust your system, your intuition. One thing I've noticed is that creativity often shows up best when we give ourselves permission to be imperfect. When I work with clients who feel blocked creatively, it's usually not because they've lost their creativity. It's because parts of them are trying to protect them from feeling shame or judgment. Those parts may say things like, why bother if it won't be good enough? Or you're just wasting time. And those parts have good reasons for their fears. Maybe you'll notice them as you reflect. Keep them in mind too. Somewhere along the way, there may have been a moment when their creativity was criticized or dismissed. Likely there was. The protector parts took that to heart. It's hard to believe and trust again. They decided it was safer to stay small, to stay hidden. When we approach those parts with compassion, when we say thank you for trying to protect me, something often softens, space opens up. Sometimes creativity flows in small, surprising ways. I've had clients who've thought that they didn't have any creative parts, but when they started experimenting with things like arranging flowers from the garden, just for fun, they've realized that they do have a deeply artistic part that had been waiting quietly for years. Creativity doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't have to produce anything. Sometimes it's just about being in relationship with beauty, curiosity, and possibility. This week, could you give your creative parts a small gift? It could be as simple as doodling on a napkin. Maybe your creative parts that are often younger are giving gifts to you. It works both ways, and often our parts bring us gifts because they make us whole and beloved, who we are at our core. Maybe it's singing in the shower, building something out of scrap wood, writing a poem that no one ever sees. The what doesn't matter as much as the how. The spirit of presence, curiosity, and care. When you nurture your creative parts, you're not just making something, you're healing. You're reconnecting to your spirit. I'll tell you, some of the most meaningful moments in my life lately have been when I allowed creativity to show up in unexpected places. And if I'm honest, my creative parts are being awakened more now, and maybe I need to spend more time painting again with my kids and playing, even though I may not have done some of this in a long time. I know that when I do this, at first, there are parts of me that feel embarrassed. You're not an artist, they say. But then this little voice inside, maybe my 7-year-old out there on his stage at the clothesline with his sheets, as the stage curtain says, who cares? Let's just have fun. And in those messy, colorful moments, something deeper tends to wake up. Can feel chills even coming on now. And I realize that the real gift of creativity is not what we create. It's the joy, the aliveness, the self-energy that emerges when we let go and simply be. So what if today you gave yourself permission not to be perfect, but to be alive? What if today you honored your creative parts, no matter how small or quiet they seem? You never know what beauty might emerge. Take this affirmation with you. Every small step I take is worth celebrating. I honor the effort, the courage, and the growth in each quiet win. Remember, celebrating your wins doesn't mean you're ignoring your struggles. It just means you're giving space to the full picture of your journey, both the challenges and the triumphs. And boy, I know I needed this reminder today. Maybe it was helpful for you too. But thanks so much for being here, for showing up. I hope this episode encourages you to pause and honor your creativity. And I'd love to hear your reflections, so feel free to reach out. That wraps up another episode of IFS Meditations and Insights. If you found value in today's session, please follow, subscribe, and share with others who might benefit. Your positive review helps more people discover this healing work. For more IFS meditations and resources, visit exploreifs.com.